All right, guys, Architecture 1, just a few things to make note of on your floor plans and your foundation plans. As you're wrapping things up, I'm going to point out a few things. Here you see that I have labeled all of my rooms with the square footage right up under it. Okay, and the way I did that, of course, you have to go in and adjust your text size. This is just plain text here, and I'm using right here. Okay, and I'm using 1/8 inch paper text height on those. Okay, now keep in mind too that sometimes when you go and you set your text sizes, you might be in a different scale. You might be in the scale that you were currently working on, say like this drawing right here, this sectional detail, which would have been 1.5 equals 1 foot. So if you start messing with your text while you're still in that scale, it can really kind of freak you out because you're not getting the text size that you're supposed to be getting. But it's all because of the way that you set your text, or the scale that you are in when you set your text. So this, of course, was set at, I can show you here in my properties. I'll look over in my properties. I set this while I was in annotative at 1/4 inch equals 1, just like it is down here. 1/4 inch equals 1, and my paper text height is 1/8 of an inch. Okay. And I went around and I labeled all of my rooms of what they are. Now closets, I labeled closets, but they don't need square footage because that does not count in the livable square footage. All right, kitchen, living room, other closets I labeled. In here you can see where I put the air handler and the hot water heater, which we really haven't studied that kind of stuff yet. But if you can ask your mom or dad to kind of show you where that stuff is in your own house, and maybe if they can explain to you what it does. But the air handler, it basically circulates the air for your air conditioning and your heating around the house. And then your hot water heater, well, that's where the hot water comes from. Your bathtubs, your kitchen sinks, bathroom sinks, and stuff like that. And they kind of go in the central area of the house, as close as possible to the center, so that the time that it takes for the hot water to get from one here to the different rooms is kind of even. And kind of the same with the air. You want the air handler, which it's going to be measuring air somewhere close by the air handler. It's going to be measuring the temperature, and you want that to be located somewhere around the center of the house. Other things I did as far as annotations, and you need to start picking this up on your annotations, is there's all kinds of things you can annotate. I mean, I could fill this entire page up if I wanted to. I don't really want you to go that far and fill the entire page up, but I want you to start using some other types of annotations as well, other than just your room labeling. But here I put some annotations for the kitchen counters, and I basically wrote here, it's called Behr. That is a brand of paint. Behr Premium Rusty Gate is the color, or the name of the color, and then the M200-7 is the model number, the Behr Premium's model number for that color of paint, with light brown granite top. And granite tops don't typically have like color codes and names. If it's made from real granite, you basically just have to go somewhere and pick out your granite. I mean, all slices of granite, which is it's a rock that is under the ground, all slices of granite are going to be kind of different colors. So that's one of the things you have to personally go and pick out. But generally it's going to be a light brown granite top. Here, gray stone tile in the kitchen. Here is brown oak laminated flooring. Okay, and that's going to be all through here. And I didn't completely annotate everything. That laminate flooring, I might want it to go throughout the whole house, or I might just want it to be in the living room. I would still need to annotate in the bedrooms if I wanted it to be something different. Or I would leave some kind of a note right up here under a note section of what else I wanted for other floors. Maybe I wanted all the floors to be the brown oak laminated flooring unless otherwise stated. such as the way I did with the paint note here. I did a paint note and I said all walls Behr Premium Indoor Bone M116-7 unless otherwise indicated. Okay, so all the walls will be painted that color unless otherwise indicated. I indicated right here dark blue, and I indicated right here tangerine orange. Now, going back to the paint and the model numbers and stuff, I really don't want you to go doing any shopping and trying to find the exact model numbers of paint just yet. We will get to that point sometime sooner or later, but right now, if you were just to put, brown paint or something on here, would be perfectly fine. So, and the same with the walls. If it was just going to be a bone white type of paint, just put bone white for now. Okay, we'll get more in detail with that much later. But make sure you label all of your rooms with the appropriate square footage, that you do some annotating, kind of like I did here with the floors and the paint colors. And let's see, on your dimensioning, of course, most everything gets dimensioned on the outside. Depending on how much detail you got on the inside, you may have to bring it in and do some detailing or some dimensioning on the inside, such as I had to do here. So any walls that are not dimensioned from the outside, such as these walls right here, like this wall and this wall, are dimensioned from the outside right there. So on the inside, if I have any undimensioned walls, I need to dimension them off of a known wall, okay, and then add some dimensions from that known wall to the new walls. Okay, so anywhere that happens, you need to dimension it. And when it comes to interior dimensions, you just have to kind of work with your alignments. Now, if I did not have furniture and all the other stuff in here, I could align those a little bit better. But I'm just kind of showing you the image just like it is right here. So I did move and adjust some of these things around. I even adjusted some of my annotations and some of my room labels so that I could do some dimensioning on the inside. But just, do the best you can, line it up the best you can. On your text, now typically all text would need to be horizontal, such as these are right here. But in some cases you can do a vertical text. However, if you do one vertical text, all of your vertical text throughout the entire job need to run in the same direction. No diagonal text whatsoever. Okay, nothing diagonal, only horizontal and vertical. And actually use vertical text as little as possible. Okay, but here in the closet, in the pantry, in the hallway, I did vertical text, which they're all facing the same way and they're all readable in the same direction. Center your text as best as you possibly can in each room, and knowing that furniture is going to sometimes get in the way. So if there is furniture there and you've got furniture in the way, then try to move your text around a little bit, your room labels, to make it look, you still want it to look nice, but make it look like you put some thought into it. And don't forget that on your dimensions, when you're dimensioning, you have to take into account, such as this overall dimension down here. I go all the way out to the side of the building. Okay, even though this portion of the building does not show up on this side of the house, I still measure it from here all the way to the other side on that overall dimension. And then, of course, I match all my other dimensions right up to it. I run them all to that line. Okay, so there's my major wall lines. And don't forget, on your major walls, you get all of your corners on the exterior. Okay, then on interior walls, you get it right in the middle. Any interior wall that comes in contact with the exterior wall, that is a major wall, you dimension it to the center. Now, in cases like this, where there is an interior wall and an exterior wall, the exterior wall overrides the interior wall, because that wall will actually be positioned based off of where this one comes to. On interior walls, when you're doing the interior walls, it's always to the center. So it's always center to center. Of course, that can vary, but right now do it center to center. And all of your doors and windows are all center to center as well. Okay, and now just to look at some other things here. Now I've titled my drawing. That's what this is, level 1 floor plan, total square feet, 1,605. So I need you to put that on there. I want to know what the total square footage of your structure is. Okay, I'm going to spot check some of those to make sure you're accurate. And then over here on the foundation, again, you see, if you watch the foundation video or even watch the review, you'll see how I did this. And I dimension that as well. Okay, same thing as I get an overall dimension, and then I get like major walls, or in this case, it more or less would be corners of the foundation. So every corner on that second line gets measured. Okay. Same over here. Now over on this side where I had the thickened portion where the load bearing wall is going to go, I measured that to the middle over here on this side, but then I measured it to the edge right over here on this side, the edge of this exterior portion of the foundation. Okay, so and again, like this line out here, this overall dimension is 8 feet from the house. The major walls, the same on here as it is over here with the major walls, are 6 feet from the building, from the furthest point of the building, the part of the building that sticks out the furthest. So it's actually 6 feet from right here, 8 feet from right here, and of course on my windows and doors, on that window and door line, it is 4 feet from right here. Now, if your computer, I noticed that my AutoCAD was kind of acting funny when I was trying to set those dimension lines at 8, 6, and 4 feet from the structure. If it does give you problems, one of the things you can do is you can really just start off by drawing a line, let's say right in here, and you can just draw it 8 feet. You can type in 8 feet, and then just line up your 8-foot dimension line, your 6-foot dimension line, or your 4-foot dimension line off of something like that. Okay, I only had to use it a couple of times because AutoCAD was getting a little bit confused. So I had a couple of places I had to draw one of those construction lines and then delete it after I got through using it. Let's see, I can't really think of anything else to tell you, but please do ask questions if you have any, and don't forget about your detail over here, how you have to put that, that sectional detail. Now, after you finish this, which this is due on Friday, after you finish this and turn it in next week, what we'll do is we'll kind of do another review on roofs. And roofs might be a little complicated when it comes to doing one, say, like on this structure, which I'm going to use this as an example and show you how to make your roof. But you're probably looking at all the twists and turns, which you don't really have to incorporate all of that into your roof. You just mainly want to get the house covered, but I'll show you some things on that. But that's going to be next week. It's going to be a different assignment. It's just going to be a formative assignment. And then, of course, we're going to do some other things besides that as well. That would actually continue on to this project. Now, of course, remember, you're not designing this exactly like mine. You're just kind of doing your own idea. You're putting your own touches to it, doing your completely a design of your own according to that problem statement specification sheet. Okay? So that's all I've got. So thank you very much for watching. And don't forget to hit the like button down on the bottom so other students besides you guys, besides my students here at our school, they get to see this and we can spread our knowledge far and wide. So do that, hit the like button so more people are able to find this who need it. Okay. All right. Thank you much.